Hi there, Rick here. Um, I was reading this article on Atari here. Um, it's uh, it's a computer, one of the very first computers um, that I had bought, or actually my parents helped buy it for me. Um, it was the Atari 800. Okay, there was even an Atari 400. Okay. Um, And you have to remember, Atari was, uh, I think, one of the very first computers. Okay, it was running DOS. Okay, and it was a computer language that I understood. Okay, and I used to do some programming because there were people coming out with magazines. Okay, and they had games in there. Okay, sometimes just very simple games. Okay, like Lunar Lander. Okay, and it was about 6, 7 pages. Okay, and you had to type all these ones and zeros and numbers, into the program, and then type run, and then the game would run. Okay, so it was kind of interesting. It was operating on a binary system. I didn't quite understand it, what a binary system was. Okay, but it was numbers representing letters. I think 87 represents a W, right? And I always thought, wow, it's pretty cool. Like, I mean, how does the computer figure out something like that? Ones and zeros, and a game pops up on the screen, right? Um, and a lot of times too, the games were okay, fun a bit, right? But you would get bored of them maybe after about a few days to a week, right? And then you just kind of look at something else, right? I still remember playing a game. It was called Lords of Karma. It was a text-based game. Okay, I thought it was quite fun. I what was it? I kind of like made a map of what the uh what the uh, I made a map of what the world looked like. Okay, so I knew where to go. Okay, because you would go north, south, west, east, right? And then you would enter a dungeon, right? You would pick up things, right? Um, Anyways, I thought that was kind of exciting. Okay, um, but it was. I was gonna say. Well, I think it was kind of a popular game actually, and the people involved in computers very early on. Okay, I think some of them saw the potential of it. Okay, and they tried to get involved with it. Okay, um, but just like any other tech company, okay, Atari had its problems. Okay, and it changed hands. It got bought out here, bought out there, right? Um, but right now, okay, like Christmas time, okay, I noticed that, okay, I saw their product in Best Buy, and I thought to myself, wow, Atari's trying to make a comeback, like, I thought to myself, um, how did Atari even, manage to, get their product in, was it, um, such a popular chain store, okay, like Best Buy, right? And then I was just reading up on the article of Atari. Um, they're dealing with PlayStation, Xbox, right? They're coming out with some, new games too, okay? And, I saw one of them, okay? It was some sort of racing game, okay? Um, and I thought it looked pretty cool, okay? Um, you can play their you can play their games, I believe, on Xbox and PlayStation. Okay. Some of their big hits when I was a teenager was Missile Command. I think also um, Asteroids. Okay. Um, and it was pretty fun. It was really cool. Okay. Um, I wish I would have saw the potential in there for what was it? Um, just for games, okay? To um the games to continue to evolve, okay? Because Atari, okay, they did not evolve, okay? And then I remember, I think it was Sega, okay? Their games started to appear more and more, okay? And their games I think actually evolved a bit. There was not huge jumps, okay, but there were jumps, okay, in Sega, right? And then I still remember, okay, some of the early PlayStations, right? I think it was Halo. Halo was, the big talk and the big games, right? Um, and it was starting to show signs of big jumps in gaming technology, right? The AIs that you were fighting, okay, in Halo, okay. Well, they're basically aliens, okay, but they had shields, and they used those shields to block your laser shots when you shot at them, right? And then they would pop their shield to one side and shoot behind their shields, right? Um, because I always felt that it's not easy. Just creating an AI to go against a human, okay? Just because um, it is quite. I would say it's very difficult, okay? And even Microsoft, okay? I remember reading some articles on Microsoft, just the comments, okay? This one person was, complaining about Age of Empires when his base was, getting attacked and, destroyed by the AI. His ally was doing nothing to help him, okay? Um, I think he even sent up, a alert or some sort of flare, right? To call for help from his ally, and the ally just wouldn't respond, right? So I seen it in other games too. Okay, just trying to sometimes they call them NPCs. Okay, and they're trying to get them to act like humans. Okay, and they have some dialogue, okay, but you cannot interact with them too much, okay, because their their intelligence is limited, right? So you know um I still remember, okay, this was a couple of years ago. I heard that Atari was appearing at, I think, what was it, gaming fairs or gaming type of what was it, conventions, okay. And I thought to myself, wow, Atari's trying to make a little bit of a comeback, okay, because right now they have an office in New York, okay, and I hear they also have an office in Paris, okay. And I'm sure that the CEO, okay, he's quite smart, probably, right? And he's trying to bring the company forward, okay. But I believe that there's going to be, okay, somebody's going to come along, okay, and just turn the company around, okay? Maybe make a really hit game, or, a bunch of hit games, right? People are going to, take notice of it, right? They're going to play it on the PlayStation. They're going to play it on the Xbox, right? But you need that, special person to come along, okay? And, just restructure the company, right? And that's how CEOs get appointed too, right? Because if you turn around the company starts making tens of millions of dollars, if not hundreds of millions of dollars. Usually that person, gets on the executive board or even becomes the CEO of the company. Okay. Um, I didn't know it, but they're running the Linux operating system. Okay, I'm not sure if they were running the Linux operating system when I was a teenager, but I wouldn't be surprised if they were, just because I know that Linux has been around for a very long time. Okay, and it was a very interesting story of Linux too, because the person working on it, okay, he asked for help. Um, I think from the internet community, and believe it or not, there were really smart people right around the entire world. Okay, they start to contribute to the operating system. Okay, and he was it continued to evolve. Okay, um, I hear that it's one of the best type of operating systems out there. Um, and some of even the newer computers that you buy at the retail stores, they run Linux. Okay, not many of them, but I heard that there's some. Okay, and I myself, okay, I was very used to the prompt, um, when the operating system, came online, and you had to type in commands like run, list was some of them, right? Catalog maybe, right? Um, but I was used to that. But now, okay, you have the Windows system, okay, made by Microsoft, okay, and it's just quite amazing um, how much of an impact, okay, computers have made in our daily lives. Like if you look at, okay, a lot of people these days, yeah, they're staring at their phone. They're either texting somebody, or making a call on their cell phone, right? Um, it's just or maybe even checking their email. Um, there's a lot of little games that you can buy these days too, right? But it's made a huge impact on our lives. Okay, computers. Okay, because you have to remember, I think when I was a teenager, a lot of people didn't even have a computer. Okay, um, I guess there were the people that were interested. There were the ones that weren't interested in it, right? But I think the people that were interested in it were more, um, I was gonna say, intellectual type people. Okay. Um, if you wanted to, put your mind to, a test, right? Um, and push the limits of, maybe how smart you were, right? Um, just had to maybe, um, study some of these operating systems, or computer languages, right? Because they still weren't easy. Okay, I think there was a lot of people trying to integrate it into their business, right? Um, I think it was what was it? The internet was a huge leap forward. Okay, it was huge, and I heard that. I think there was this one man, Yoshi Mashi-san. I think he owned something like 25% of the world internet. Okay, and he was a billionaire. Okay, he was He was on Forbes magazine. Okay, I remember reading an article on him. Okay, just an amazing person. Okay, and he also owned what is it? A computer chip factory. Um, and you know, you have to have a lot of money, okay, to own I think some sort of I think integrated circuit um, type of company, right? But um, he was what was it? I heard that he was one of the early uh, he was one of the early contributors to Alibaba. Okay, I think he invested something like $20 million into it, and paid him out as much as um, $60 billion. Yeah, that much money. Okay, because you have to remember, okay, Jack Ma, um, it was Alibaba was kind of like the Amazon of China. Okay, and you know how many people are in China, right? So it was huge. Okay, I'm sure the circle of friends that Jack Ma had, people that believed in him. Okay, those early investors, they became millionaires. Okay, company is starting to make a comeback, and I'm just surprised at how um, when I saw their product in Best Buy, okay, because it's not easy getting your product into a main retailer like Best Buy, right? I'm sure they had to do a lot of things, just to get their product displayed in a major retail store like Best Buy, right? And I feel that okay, they're going to have other things um, come out that Atari is a part of. Okay, getting involved in two of the biggest, what is it, gaming consoles in the entire world, PlayStation, Xbox too. I don't think that's easy. It's something easy to do. Okay, um, I just started to hear of their name pop up a little bit more in I guess the gaming industry. Okay, and I thought to myself, I think when I first heard about a few years ago, wow, Atari's trying to make a comeback. Okay, but look at Apple. Okay, um, I still remember using the Apple computer in high school. Okay, and when they took out the Apple computers, the company didn't do anything for, I think, for about 7 or 8 years. Okay. It just, remained dormant. Okay. I think the shares were trading at something like uh, 10 cents. Okay. When I was 16. Okay. And, look how, was it? Look how much the company evolved, right? It just, they hired, of course they hired I think some very bright people and the right people in the company, right? Made their first cell phone, right? And from there, the company started to generate an income, and it just started to get bigger and bigger, right? um and look at well, they're continuing to innovate, right? I remember having, was it, I think iPhone 6, iPhone 8. Right now I have an iPhone 12, but I think they right now it's at iPhone 15 right now. Okay, and I noticed some of the people having the new phones because there's, was it, okay, how the camera, okay, it has one camera lens. Okay, I noticed that the newer phones, they have three camera lenses. Yeah, three. So I'm sure that's quite expensive for them to do, right? Put a three lenses in a cell phone, right? But, I'm glad that Atari is trying to make a comeback, okay?